listen, I don't want any more bullshit.
Holy shit. Well, we got to do a special podcast today because the same day that I released the first podcast in the series, How the Colts Can Win the Super Bowl in 2021, and I talk about whether or not the Colts should bring back Philip Rivers as their starter, Philip Rivers goes and announces his fucking retirement. So he takes away the need for me to do the second part of that video, but we got to talk about this because that being the case, now that Phil is retired, now we got to find out and figure out what the fuck do the Colts do now. This is Harkon Ajala, a.k.a. your bad boy genius, at your service as always. I want to welcome you back to the one, the only, the world's famous Bullshit Freak Colts podcast, the only place online, on the internet, anywhere in the world that you can hear all things Colts with no coach speak, no PR, no spin, no political correctness, and especially and absolutely 100% unequivocally no fucking bullshit. Now, you know, the first thing that I thought about when I got the notification this morning that Philip Rivers had announced he is retiring, it's kind of weird because the first thing I thought about was not Philip Rivers. The first quarterback I thought about was Andrew Luck, because when Philip announced his retirement, I felt grateful to Philip for what he gave us this past season. He gave us 11 wins. He gave us a shot to win the division, which we should have won. He took us to the playoffs, and he gave us a great game in the playoffs, one that we could have won and should have won. He provided a great next step to where the Colts need to get. And honestly, if I had been able to complete the second part in this video series about whether or not Philip Rivers was good enough to take this team to the Super Bowl and win it, I can tell you that my answer was going to be yes, he is. Yes, he is. But not in the way that Patrick Mahomes is going to take a team to the Super Bowl and win it. You feel me? Now, before you say there's no fucking way, are you crazy? Let me just give you two words, all right? You ready? Trent Dilfer. You like those two? Well, I got two more for you. Joe Flacco. Okay? Here's two more. I know you'll love these. Nick Foles. You starting to get the picture? Okay, it should be obvious. Here's the deal. Not every quarterback that gets to the Super Bowl and wins it with a team has to be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, all right? But in order for a quarterback that's not playing at the top elite level to take you to a Super Bowl and win it, the team around them and the coaching has to be top shelf. So as long as they don't kill you, they can get it done. And if you have a smart, accurate quarterback who understands how to read defenses and adjust and get you in and out of the right plays, a Hall of Fame guy like Philip Rivers, even if he's not at the top of his physical capability anymore, he can take you there and win it for you, okay? But you're probably not going to get a Herculean effort out of him. You're going to have the team around him. So, Philip Rivers, we'll just skip that whole video, and I'll tell you that Philip Rivers, yes, I believe he would have been good enough to get the Colts to a Super Bowl and win it if, and this is a big if the Colts had made the moves around him to fortify the team so that he wasn't the guy that had to put on a fucking Herculean, Mahomesian performance, right, to win it for you. But I digress a little bit, because you're probably wondering, why the fuck did you think about Andrew Luck? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly why. But before I do, let me just say really quickly, if you haven't already, take your little finger and smash that like button for me. because it will help the YouTube algorithm make sure that this video is shown to the maximum number of people, the maximum number of real Colts fans, because YouTube will know that there are real Colts fans who are smart and want good Colts content watching our videos, not bots, okay? So make sure you like the video, share it with any person or people who you think will get value from it, and make sure you subscribe. And if you appreciate what we're doing, as always, take a second, hit the little button below and donate to us. $10, $20, $5, even $1 will help us bring you more and more of the kind of Colts content that you want. Okay, I appreciate it. Now let's get back to this. Why did I think about Andrew Luck when I heard that Phillip Rivers retired this morning? Because when I heard Phillip Rivers retired this morning, it really brought back to my mind just how much Andrew Luck really fucked this franchise when he up and quit at the end of the third preseason game a little over 2 years ago. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into what I think, everything I think was going on with Andrew quitting and why, but let me just say, he put the Colts in a really fucked up position. They had already built a team around him. The crazy thing about it is that the year he quit, the team was in a great position to make a Super Bowl run with what they had put around him. He walked away, but the fact that he walked away at the time he did meant that the Colts had missed out on any really good opportunities. They had to replace him and salvage that season. But also, as you guys have seen if you've been watching football for a while, finding a franchise quarterback is not a fucking piece of cake. And you can ask any number of teams that have been going through NFL hell for years and years and decades, losing, just how daunting a task it is. Ask the Cleveland Browns. Ask the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ask the New York Jets. You feel me? Ask the Washington Redskins. It is a cold, cold world out here when you don't have a franchise quarterback. Ask the Bears. You know, the position that Andrew Luck put this franchise in is what led to us having to end up giving a 38, turning 39-year-old quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who admittedly is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, but still, what Andrew did to us is what led us to having to go with a 38, turning 39-year-old quarterback as our starter this season in the first place. We'd have had that shit taken care of. That money and that energy could have gone to another part of the roster. And the money and energy that's going to have to be spent this season trying to solve that quarterback question, it could have gone to another part of the roster to build up the roster to hopefully make a multiple Lombardi, right, dream a reality with Andrew Luck as the starting quarterback. But Andrew, you know, for whatever reason, and like I said, I'm not going to get into it here, but I'll have a whole podcast about this. Andrew bounced, and he bounced at the most inopportune time I can imagine. What I can never understand is a smart motherfucker like Andrew Luck, why did he seem like taken by surprise that he got fucking booed when it was announced in the middle of the third preseason game that he was walking away because he had a fucking ankle injury or calf injury or whatever it was supposed to have been? I mean, come on, bro. Anyway, back to Phillip Rivers. Here's the thing I want to say before we start talking about what do the Colts need to do now. What the fuck are they going to do? Like I said, I want to give a shout out to Phillip Rivers. I want to thank him for coming and quarterbacking our team, giving us that year and giving it everything he had. The one thing I always loved about Phillip Rivers, even when I hated the motherfucker when he's playing for the San Diego and then later Los Angeles Chargers, is the thing that I loved about him here. He has a burning desire to win, a passion, an unbridled passion to win. And you can see that You can see that shit ooze out and take hold in his team. You can see it on the field. You can see it in the press conference after wins and losses. I love the fact that he always had a burning desire to win. If I always said, and I used to not even say this aloud because I didn't really want to believe it, but I always said, my background is in psychology and I'm a human behavior expert. I always said that was the missing thing, the missing piece in Andrew Luck. In my opinion, I could always see from his body language and his words and, the awkward way that he kind of carried himself, even on the field among teammates. He never had that absolute burning desire to win a championship, to grasp the mantle of leadership and lead his team to a championship. It's like he wanted to be one of the guys. He wanted to sink into the background and just be one of the crowd. And, I remember him, when they were talking about him running off the field in the last game that he played for the Colts, that playoff loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Colts just got absolutely blown away. And he should have been like, fuck, coming off the field. And I remember it being reported that he ran off the field and hugged his wife, happy as a clam, like they just advanced, like they just won a trip to the Super Bowl. And I always thought, what the fuck? I mean, I get that, hey, maybe he was happy. Hey, babe, I'm back. I'm playing and whatever. But at that point, bro, that wasn't the time really for a true hardcore competitor to be, just thankful that he had the opportunity to get his ass beat in by the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, to get embarrassed on national TV. I'm just thankful and grateful for it. I understand that feeling, trust me, but not right after the fucking game. You lose by 20 or whatever it was. That always bothered me. It always was like that little thing. I was like, man, this is what I always worried about. And lo and behold, a few months later, he was quitting. So again, I thank Phil for what he gave us. And I always felt like if we could have transplanted Phillip Rivers' burning desire to win a championship, just to win and lead, into Andrew Luck, well, then we'd be winning Super Bowls right now. But that being said, like I said, thank you, Phil. We appreciate you. Now, what the fuck are the Colts going to do? Well, if you haven't seen my video from this morning on whether or not the Colts should bring back Phillip Rivers, you need to go and watch it. I'll put a link to it here because I really kind of break down all of the options the Colts had, as far as we know, to get a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers. Because if Phillip wanted to come back, the only reason we shouldn't bring him back is we got somebody guaranteed that's going to be better than him. Now that's off the table. So now we just got to look for somebody better than him and hope we can find somebody as good. So it doesn't change things as much in terms of who we are pursuing or should pursue. But what it does change is the urgency level and how we have to pursue them. Now, things are a little different now because we got to find a starting quarterback. And now, it maybe makes somebody like Sam Darnold even more attractive in some ways because, he'll still be on his rookie contract. And because, like I said, you got to look for that, now you got to really be thinking about looking for your quarterback of the future. I think Matthew Stafford, you got to go hard after Matthew at this point. Like I said in the previous video, I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be available from the Eagles, but if he is, you definitely got to take a look at that. Dak Prescott is not leaving the Cowboys. It'd be great if he did. I guess I need to address this. I said in the first video, there's no sense in even addressing it because we shouldn't have to. But I heard on the radio and online this morning, people still with this fucking Jacoby Brissett shit. Give him a chance. Why he hasn't gotten enough? Let me tell you something. The dude had 2 full seasons as a starter. Okay? And if you can't see that he's not the guy that's going to be able to take you there, it's just because either A, you don't understand football and what outstanding quarterbacking really is, what the level of quarterbacking is that you need to be able to win in the NFL, or you're being blinded by some other reason. Jacoby Brissett is not accurate enough. He has an arm that's fantastic, but he's not accurate enough. And even more importantly, this is the biggest problem with Jacoby Brissett. Not only is he too careful, but the reason I believe he's too careful is because he doesn't appear to be able to process quickly enough where he needs to go with the football. It's like he can't read the defenses quickly enough. And so by the time he recognizes it, the openings have passed. And then he's like, okay, I got to just check it down, be safe. That won't get it done. If you go back and watch Jacoby Brissett quarterbacking. For people who say he was 5-2, go back and watch those games, bro or sis. Go back and watch. Go back and watch the difference between Jacoby Brissett and even a 39-year-old Phillip Rivers. How quickly Phillip Rivers gets the ball out. How quickly Phillip Rivers recognizes where he needs to go with the ball. How well he does at reading the defenses. I mean, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Jacoby's not the answer. So we got to look and find somebody for right now, because this team is built to win right now. And then also for the long term, yes. But let's be honest about it. You know, the window is open right now. So they've got to be looking for a quarterback that they can win a championship with in the next 3 to 5 years, right now. Now, you go out and draft a rookie, they better fucking be Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or even Patrick Mahomes. They better be somebody on that level, because even if you go out and get Josh Allen, remember, it took Josh Allen 3 years before he became really good. First couple of years, people were like, I don't know. There was talk they may need to get another quarterback. So understand, you can draft the quarterback of the future if you want to go that way. But if you do that, this great team that you got built, you're probably not going to be able to win with it in the next 2 or 3 years. And look, you're going to be losing people by that time. Anything can happen. Injuries, defections, can't afford some people. You know, they got to find somebody right now. So the best thing they can do is they've got to get on the horn. And, you know, Chris Ballard and his team have got to really earn their money. They've got to find a quarterback that's good enough to take them to the promised land. That means at least as good as Phillip Rivers, and preferably, since Phillip's not coming back now, preferably better. Got to find a way to come up with him. You either got to get yourself a Matt Stafford or a Carson Wentz, or maybe a Sam Darnold, and be able to fix them, or you've got to unearth another gem. I don't think it can be one of these reclamation projects of a quarterback that was never really any good, like Marcus Mariota or something like that. I don't want to see that. Maybe, you know, Jameis Winston becomes somebody that you take a long look at now, to have Frank Reich look and see, hey, you think this is fixable? I don't know about that. But like I said, at this point, Phillip retiring, while in a way he does the Colts a favor by doing it early, so they can get about the business of knowing what they're going to need this year. It also, again, like I said, puts them in a very, very brutal sense of urgency, because they got to have somebody this year. Maybe, boy, I hope Jacob Eason really is the next Tom Brady or the next Russell Wilson. That would be great. But we have no reason to believe that. And And people say, well, we don't have a reason not to believe it. Yeah, we do. We really do. Because the truth of the matter is a quarterback taken in the 4th round most likely ain't going to work out. Because to be honest with you, quarterbacks go in the 1st round every year that have 3rd round grades. That's how desperate teams are for a franchise quarterback. So when you have a guy that goes all the way to the 4th round, it's not likely that they're going to be a diamond in the rough. I hope he is, but it's not really likely. So at this point, we'll have to see what happens. Chris Ballard has got big-time work to do, but they have got to get about the business of finding themselves a franchise-level quarterback they can win a championship with to start this year. If y'all think differently, you got other ideas, or there's something I haven't thought about, as always, let your man know in the comments. Holler at your boy. But either way, this is going to be a fucking entertaining-ass offseason, because we haven't even talked about the fact they still need a starting left tackle. You feel me? As always, I will see y'all in the next one. I say to you, dear listener, and to any Colts player, front office member, coach who's listening or watching, because I know y'all do, I still got faith. The fucking mission doesn't change, even with this. Let's go out and win another fucking Lombardi, baby. Peace. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby.